those attained by most investors. I told you it was straightforward, didn't I? And don't try to outplay the market, but instead play with it. No man or machine can predict the ups and downs of the market, well, except for Warren Buffett maybe. So it would be foolish to try to beat it when you can simply join it. The very same formula was also mentioned in Tony Robbins' book Money Master the Game, and index funds really seems to be the future of investing, because the market will always rise in the long term, and that's essentially what you invest in, the market. And the S&P 500 contains all the 500 largest companies that trades on the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq. So instead of picking stocks individually, you can now own a piece of all of the biggest companies such as Apple, Microsoft and Google. Like I discussed earlier, Warren Buffett is an expert in picking the best companies out of these 500 and invest huge amounts in them. But this will save you time, and you have a very secure investment that can bring great returns over time. And investing in an index fund is very secure, since a single company might go bankrupt, however the market will not. And you don't have to stick to only the US market, but could also invest in the European and Asian markets that's also doing very well. And you can even invest in global index funds to own a part of the biggest companies in the world. And for the other 10%, the short-term government bonds is a very low-risk, low-cost alternative. Short-term bonds are very attractive to investors because they are very stable and consistently rising. However, their returns tend to be smaller. And I have taken a very similar but slightly more aggressive approach to investing as Warren Buffett is suggesting, and I've had great results with it. I'll link the Berkshire Hathaway annual report in the description if you want to read it. And
Alright, who knows what Berkshire Hathaway is? No? Alright, so you know Warren Buffett, right? Yeah, that's his investment firm. Do you think he does his homework?
Yes, sir.
So 8 hours a day, right? Tremendous. A lot. Education. Still, he's what, like 85 years old? Education. He educates himself every single day. Incredibly important. Alright, so this next subject is going to be about yourself. So this is going to be a controversy between following your passion and following opportunity. So there's two perspectives on this. I want you all to look at this for a second. You either love it, the world needs it, you are paid for it, and you are great at it. And they intersect all at certain points. You want to be passionate? Do you want to follow a mission? Do you just want to have a profession or a vocation? Think about that when we're watching these videos. So this first one's going to be about passion.
It is not the things we do in life that we regret on our deathbed. It is the things we do not. Because I assure you, I've done a lot of really stupid things, and none of them bother me. All the mistakes and all the dopey things and all the times I was embarrassed, they don't matter. Last August, I was told that in all likelihood I had 3 to 6 months left to live. Somebody said to me, in light of those numbers, wow, so you're really beating the Grim Reaper. We don't beat the Reaper by living longer. We beat the Reaper by living well and living fully. For the Reaper will come for all of us. The question is, what do we do between the time we're born and the time he shows up? Because when he shows up, it's too late to do all the things that you're always going to kind of get around to.
When I was 17, I read a quote that went something like, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." And since then, for the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart.
will need to find your passion. Many of you have already done it, many of you will later, many of you may take till your 30s or 40s, but don't give up on finding it, right? Because then all you're doing is waiting for the reaper.
As a child, my parents always told me you could be whatever you want to be, you could do whatever you want to do. But I didn't totally believe it. Yet I went out in the world and I carried myself and I held my head high and I stood there and I looked people in their eyes and I talked to people as if I was deserving of everything that this planet has to offer. I really want to say to children out there and to people who are watching, Confucius said one time, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. And I want you to keep in your heart, just know that you can. Know that you can. And it is going to get hard and you're going to want to quit sometimes, but it'll be colored by who you are and more who you want to be. I definitely found that wanting to be an actor stems from wanting to be somebody.
I said, I'm not losing. I'm still here, I'm fighting. I'm not losing. When you die, it does not mean that you lose to cancer. You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and in the manner in which you live.
Find your passion and follow it. You will not find that passion in things. And you will not find that passion in money. Because the more things and the more money you have, the more you will just look around and use that as the metric, and there will always be someone with more.
I want the world to be better because I was here.
If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time. You know, like your life will become better by making other lives better. The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Why would you be realistic? What's the point of being realistic?
Next one's about opportunity, but we're gonna stay on passion for a second. What's the point in doing all this? Is it just to make money? Is that all you're doing? To get that cash flow? No? Yeah, what happens if you're a multi-billionaire and that's all you do? All you do is make money?
So you won't always have personal fulfillment.
Yeah. What happens if you don't follow your passion, you don't invest in your passion? What happens if you forget chess?
Your life will be full of regrets.
Yeah. You'll die, you'll be on your deathbed thinking, why didn't I play more chess? Why didn't I follow that? Why didn't I swim more? Why didn't I play more tennis? Why? Always ask yourself why. So this next one is going to be about opportunity, complete opposite of passion. Like I said, it's a controversy between the two. You decide which one works best for you.
People I've met on my journeys, by and large, didn't set out to realize their dream. They looked around for an opportunity. They identified the opportunity. They exploited the opportunity. They worked at the opportunity, and then they got good at the opportunity. Then they figured out how to love it. So, do you have to have passion? Absolutely. Do you have to rely upon it to drive you? No, I don't think so. I think that there's a great case to be made for the cold, hard, unglamorous calculus of practicality. When you follow your passion, when you follow your dream, when you grow up being told that you're a precious little snowflake and all you have to do is look inward and identify that thing in you that you want more than anything else, that's a trap. Because once you see that thing, once you can articulate what that thing is, You're going to make a list of things that you have to do. So, okay, I know I want to be an astronaut. I know that's the thing that's going to make me happy. What do I have to do to get there? And you make this list and you go down that road and you start to cross those things off. And maybe you make it, maybe you don't. Statistically, you're not going to make it. You know why? Because there are only like 100 astronauts. Tough, okay? It's a tough thing to do. I think when you put passion first, you erect a giant wall. If you can get over it and get down to the other side, then you get to write the biography and tell the world about how you identified your wish. And people love to read that crap. In my view, that's simply not how most success works. So many guys on dirty jobs and women who I talk to would look around and at the start of their career and simply see where everybody else was going and just go the other way. That's how the septic tank businesses with 30, 40 employees start. Nobody wants to do it. So every now and then a guy comes along and jumps in. Les Swanson, guy from Wisconsin. I remember it like it was yesterday. There's a great story Les tells. He knew out of college that he wanted to work with kids and he wanted to be in some kind of psychological realm. Did everything he needed to do, got the job he wanted. 20 years later, he just simply wasn't passionate about it. So he looked around. There was a need in Madison for a septic tank cleaner. There just weren't enough. He started and he hired some people and he hired a few more. Now he has a few trucks and he sips margaritas by his pool. Yes, he's covered in other people's crap during the day, but it washes off and he's happy. Long way of saying, never follow your passion, but always bring it with you.
Yeah, completely opposite, right? Yeah. Do you think you can find passion somewhere you never thought before? How do you find your passion without trying new things, right?
You don't, sir.
You don't. No. Controversy to it. Either follow the passion you already have or develop a passion that you're going to have later on. What's a healthy balance between passion and opportunity? Someone tell me. Someone? Yeah.
So that's up to the person to decide as they go through life.
Definitely. Okay.
A healthy balance could be, say, you're going to college and you're getting a degree, you don't really feel like you're going to apply to something but it's going to make you money, but then you have your hobby that you get to do on the side, and maybe for you it's going to be your financial investments, and then maybe down the road you can actually use that skill that you've developed for so many years and actually get a job in that or become an entrepreneur.
Definitely. So passions can also be temporary. I hope to God I'm not passionate about finances until the day I die. I want to do something more active, more enjoying. I'm passionate about my finances now because I know how important it is for my future, so I can develop more passions through opportunity later on. How important is money in the grand scheme of life? We've already discussed this. I just want to hear it another time.
Very.
Very? How much? Like really?
A lot important.
Really? Okay. Is it the most important thing? No. It's relative to every single person. Money is incredibly important. Yes, that's very true. You need to support yourself, your family, your needs, your wants. You want to do something, you want to have the freedom to go do it. It's not the most important thing in the world. So someone tell me, how much do you need to retire? How much money?
$3 to $4 million.
Actually, no, that's about very accurate. Well, the lower end is the prediction is about $1 to $1.5 million, but that's if you're living off of $50,000 a year, which is actually incredibly difficult to do these days. So $3 to $4 million, incredibly, that would work very well. Anyone else? $0? No?
So it depends on what you want to do in your retirement.
Yeah, definitely. You want to be extravagant and go on vacations all the time, have 3 homes? Gosh, you need tens of millions of dollars. You just want to live a simple life, live in Chicago or Detroit or something. $1 million, $3 million. Sounds like a lot. You got 40 years to get there. 40 years. You've only lived about 20 of them. So when do you want to retire? What's a realistic time for you to retire? Yeah.
50, sir?
Okay. That's pretty early actually. No, yeah, definitely. If you want to be ambitious, why not 30? Why not? Why can't you do 30?
I don't want to retire that early.
Okay. It's a great reason. Why not 30?
Career.
Yeah. Start something you enjoy. Work for a non-profit or something. I don't care what you do. What?
So this is like a personal story, but my parents went to Italy a couple years ago, and while they were in Italy, they ran into a couple who were in their mid-30s. Both of them had already acquired the wealth they needed to retire, go to Italy, buy a vineyard, and now they're living their dream. It's a realistic thing. It's not like something we're just making up.
Definitely. Like, I would love to retire by the time I'm 30. If I get a pilot slot in the Air Force, I'll be in for 12 years. I'll be 22 when I get in there. Two years of pilot training, 10 years of commitment. What, I'll be 34, right? Math. I'll be 34. If I could retire then, great, right? If I could pay for my mom to retire, she'll be, well, like 65 years old, 67 years old at that point. I do her investments for her. I made a retirement fund for her. She needs help to retire. You want to help your parents retire? You want to help your loved ones with what they need? I would be ambitious with your retirement plans, but also be realistic. Have a backup plan. Have something you can be comfortable with. Have something you can be luxurious with. So when is the best time to start investing?
Now.
Why not yesterday? There you go. Right now. Right now is the best time to start investing. Does that mean throw your money in the stock market?
No.
No. Definitely don't do that. Invest in yourself. Education. Invest in the important things. I educated myself for about 4 months where I went in the stock market. Lost a bit of money. 4 months isn't really enough time in my opinion. I'm back in the stock market and making pretty good returns. I've been educating myself along the way the entire time. If you're ever away for too long, that's a problem. If you're ever away from education too long, a problem. Make sure you're constantly educating yourself. So, we'll skip that question actually. Okay, so different subject. Budgeting. Why is budgeting important? Can you retire without a budget?
No.
Can you be retired and have a budget?
Yes.
Can you be retired without a budget?
Yes.
Really? Can you?
Yeah. I mean, you literally just stop working.
So let's say we have $3 to $4 million. You're in your portfolio.
You're done.
You just buy a mini mansion for $4 million. Where's your retirement? You need a budget.
A mini mansion?
Yeah. You can't buy a mansion for $3 to $4 million.
What's a mini mansion?
Is that a house?
No, it's a massive house. It's probably about on 4 acres, depending on where you live.
Wait, the house is spread out over 4 acres?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is not a mini mansion. That is a mansion.
Wait. Is the
Or is it just like 4 acres of land?
Alright, so we're gonna watch a video about budgeting.
Your to-do list than hours in the day? If you're in college, you know exactly what we're talking about. But there's one thing you should never be too busy to do, and that is taking time to make a budget. A budget is a financial plan that will help you make smart spending choices today while preparing for tomorrow. Budgeting will help you achieve your goals and prepare you for unexpected bumps in the road. So what goes into making a budget? First, you'll need to track your income and expenses for a particular period of time, such as a month. You can use pen and paper, a spreadsheet, or a budgeting app. After that, making your budget comes down to a simple equation: what you earn minus what you spend. To determine your income, include items such as wages earned at work, allowances from family, and student financial aid such as grants or scholarships. To determine your expenses, include items such as tuition, books, rent, credit card payments, and car payments. Then simply subtract your expenses from your income. Are your earnings greater than your spending? If so, you could choose to invest, buy a new cell phone, or simply save for a rainy day. But what if you spent more than you earned? If that's the case, it's time to cut back on your expenses and balance your budget. You may also need to find a way to increase your income. Remember, everyone's budget is unique and it will fluctuate from month to month. So use a budget and be mindful of your daily expenses. That way you can make sure you're spending your money on things that really matter to you. When you budget, you decide where your money goes instead of wondering where it all went. And there you have it, the basics of a budget. Now it's time to create your own. Go to studentaid.gov/budget to get
Alright. Just you want to say something real quick?
Yeah. I'm going to say something real quick because I have to leave. I have to go to work. But Mr. Smith and Mr. Keyser will be sending out a reflection document. It's like a Google Doc. Over the weekend, or hopefully within this next week, just fill it out. Be truthful about it. Just kind of want to know what you think of these training times. I hope everyone's getting something out of them. So I put together in-depth way of us kind of judge the scope of, whether it was effective or
Fish, what is he talking about that we've been talking about? We did one right before we came here. What is that? We talked about it this morning. We did one before we came here. What?
So the reflection is sustainability and
After actors review.
All right, so invest now, right? That's the answer, right? Best time to start investing is now. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Say you have a really beautiful home with some really annoying neighbors, and you want a nice tall line of hedges to give you some privacy. When would have been the best time to plant those hedges? 10 years ago, right? Well, since we aren't capable of time travel yet, when's the second best time to plant those hedges? That's right, today. Let's take a second and talk about procrastination. More specifically, financial procrastination, and how it could be costing you thousands, if not millions of potential dollars in retirement savings. We all know that time is our greatest ally in growing our nest egg. The longer you leave your money in an interest-earning account, the bigger that number can grow. But exactly how crucial is the need to invest early? Let's take a look. Larry and his twin brother Barry are both 19 years old. Larry gets off to an early start with his retirement savings. He starts contributing $2,000 a year to an account that gains annual compound interest at 10%. Larry sticks to his savings plan for 7 years, but hits some tough times at age 27 on a bad investment in hoverboard technology. He stops contributing after that, but his savings continue to grow at 10% interest. His twin brother Barry, on the other hand, is a bit of a procrastinator. He doesn't contribute anything for the first 7 years. But at age 27, he starts contributing his $2,000 a year and continues to contribute that amount every year through age 65. So where do our twin brothers end up at retirement? Well, they both end up doing pretty well, but Larry's got the larger nest egg, despite the fact that he only contributed a total of $16,000 compared to Barry's $78,000. So how is it that Barry invested $62,000 more than his brother, yet now has $150,000 less in his retirement savings? The answer is time. It's a beautiful thing, especially when it comes to compound interest. Let's look at this another way, and at a more conservative interest rate. Let's say Larry is 30 years old, and he starts putting $5,000 per year into an account that gains 6% compound interest. At age 65, he'll end up with $557,000 for retirement. Now, if Larry had waited until he was 40 to start investing and wanted to end up with that same amount, he would have to put over $10,000 per year into that account. At age 50, the contribution would have to be just under $25,000 per year. So what did we learn? Procrastinating is the most damaging thing you can do when it comes to your retirement savings. But if you've been procrastinating, don't despair, repair. There's still time, and the best time to start planting that seed is today. For this educational video and others like it, visit alliancegroup.academy.
Man. If y'all started today, imagine how lucky you think you are, maybe 40 years, 30 years from now. You'll have a shit ton of money, right? Yeah. Okay, so ask yourself these questions. Just think about this in your head. Will you be happy with the choices you make? Now, next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, will you be happy? How much work am I willing to put in? Education, actual going to job, going to work, earning that money. How much work are you willing to put in? Will I commit to educating myself? It's a commitment thing. You're not necessarily just sitting down, glazed over at a computer. You have to be actively involved in it. Formal education, with self-education, sorry. How do I educate myself? What is the best way to educate myself? Plenty of different methods. Should I invest for the future? Answer is yes. You don't even have to think about that. When should I start investing? Now. Now. Invest in yourself. What investment's best for me? It's different for everyone. Entrepreneurship, stocks, real estate, small business. The list is endless. Should I follow opportunity or passion? Just think about that. It's a healthy balance between the two. With that concludes my presentation about financial education. I'm about to release y'all back to Mr. Spetz. He's got a few words for you to say. However, if y'all found this interesting, if y'all think this is important at all, Mr. Heathcock and myself, I think Mr. Wayman's going to join us at some point here soon. We approximately about once a week, we sit down and talk about these kind of things. teach ourselves, motivate each other. If you would like to get involved in that, when everyone's released, stay behind. I'm gonna get your information. We're gonna make a group meeting and we're gonna start meeting about these things. We'll go much more in depth. We didn't even touch the surface today. We just scratched it. So with that, I'm gonna give it back to Mr. Svets, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, so that was really impressive, really well done, and that's a sophomore, right? That's subject very well done. So on that, I'm going to be sending out an email. It'll probably be attached to the outfit email. I'm going to have a Google document that's going to have ideas for training times for next year. So if you have parents, you have certain niches that you consider yourself very interested in, right? I want you all to just put those ideas down. And then we're going to sort them out over the summer into academics, sort them out into what their chain is, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll have a pool going into the beginning of the year that we're going to start drawing that from. So I already have a bunch of ideas on there. I'm going to be sending it out because I want you all to be a part of that process as well. And if I don't get CO Squadron 1, then somebody else will be able to use that resource. A few couple quick apps that I've used. Like I said, I'm not really engaged in the stock market, but there's a couple things you can go ahead and start using. This one's probably my favorite because it doesn't have anything that is actually tied. It's all the information is tied to the stock market, but they give you $25,000 to play with. It's called Best Brokers. It's a little green tie for money, of course. It has all the different things all over the world, all the different stock market, it's all the stocks, everything. So for me, up to $2,000, a little bit more. I've been up to $35,000. I've been as low as 18 or 19. Like, you're gonna fluctuate. I've had that one for a while. A couple more. Acorns. So what Acorns does is, you might have seen an ad for it. They do stuff on like big TV. They track out your finances and they like look at your budget and how your budgeting works. And they also go into your account and you can set it up that every time you swipe your card, the change. So if something costs $8.89, that extra 11 cents gets deposited into Acorns. You can set up recurring investments. So for me, I have about $120 invested in my future. And one thing that I really like about this is that they show you how much it will project out. If I can find that graphic. I just redid the app. Oh, here we go. Yeah, sweet. So after like a certain amount of time, it'll show you based on how much you put on those recurring investments, and your roundups is what the change is called, how much that works. Again, this one you have to link to your bank account information. Some people aren't comfortable with that, I get it. My budgeting app that I was talking about earlier is called Mint. Intuit Mint. Intuit is spelled I-N-T-U-I-T, Mint. So what I really like about Intuit is that it'll warn you if like you're above your budget. You'll get these little alerts, right? So I have 7 alerts right now. I'll read some of them to you. Over budget, you spent $23 on fast food. That exceeds your budget of $20 by $3.
No.
Guilty. High spending, you spent $9,176 on tuition. Yeah, I did do that. That happened, right? And it'll also tell you if there's like warning signs, like, hey, I live in Pennsylvania, right? So like my card's based in Pennsylvania, everything. Every time I come to Texas, I get an alert like, hey, you're in Texas. I was like, okay, yeah, thanks. But hey, if that maybe flags, oh, your card's being used in California. Oh, really? Right? So that's one. And then the last one I want to share with y'all, again, it's one you've probably seen ads for. This one's free money, okay? Yes, you do have to link your bank account. I have not had my bank account information compromised. I have USAA. I don't know what y'all have. I'm not really too worried about it. It's called Robinhood, R-O-B-I-N-H-O-O-D. What Robinhood is it is an app that literally gives you one stock of something. So that stock can be anything from, I think they give out some big stocks to some people, like Apple, Tesla, stuff like that. I've gotten 2 Groupon stocks, right? So I have $7.46. When I looked at this morning, it was $7, so I'm up 50 cents. Yeah, kind of a big deal, right? That one's kind of cool, and you can also share it around with people and get more stocks for free. So I haven't put any money into into Robinhood, but you can put money into Robinhood and invest in bigger stocks. If you're interested in investing in Bitcoin, Bitcoin's on Robinhood. So if y'all want to write down my share link, you can. If you want to share your share links with each other, that's fine. I'm not trying to steal your money out of your buddy classes, but it's https://share.robinhood.com/ you already know it anyway. Jacob S.
I didn't know it.
3288. That's 2 8s. 88.
So is it 380 or
3888. 3883. And if y'all just put in that code when you go in, like I said, I'm not forcing y'all. I'm not going to come hunting for you. Y'all can, maybe Fish Gibson can share his code with Fish Robertson. Y'all can mix it up like that and get more money. It's all up to y'all.
Partial stocks on that.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's what I really like about it, is that it's kind of a little less intense, right? So what Mr. Quiglin does is he goes for the big boys. What I do is I kind of play around with the little guys. I'm in the little kitty pond fishing, you know, he's out with the whales.
Okay.
Yeah. So that just 4 apps that you all can play around with. I'm sure there's other ones out there. Just ones that I've worked with and I like. Thank you.
Alright, yeah, y'all released. It's 6 o'clock. That's all I have y'all till. If you want to stay after to join our little group we have going on, it'd be great. With a lot more resources, a lot more than what Mr. Spence just said. Those are great resources though. So y'all released. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Good. Good. Leave. Or stay. Hey, Oliver. Can you grab my phone up there? Yeah.
Oh, were you recording?